Thank you for choosing ApplianceVideo.com. In this video, we will be replacing the door hinges. The hinges are most commonly used in many Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and Roper refrigerators. Our experts give this repair a level 1 skill rating, level 1 being the easiest, and can be performed by most non-professionals without much difficulty. The average time of completion for this repair is 15 minutes. ApplianceVideo.com advises you to take caution while performing this repair. During this video, you will see caution icons appear on the screen. Such icons include sharp edges, water damage, gas and fire hazards, lifting hazards, delicate components, electrical dangers, and state-regulated materials. You will need the following tools before you begin this repair: a 5/16 nut driver and a 5/16 crescent wrench. Stop. Before you begin this repair, make sure the appliance is unplugged from the wall outlet. Step 1. Removing the top hinge. To gain access to the top hinge, we must remove the cosmetic cover. To do so, firmly grip the cosmetic cover. Gently work it from side to side and pull upward. Once the cover is removed, you will see the 3 5/16 bolts that hold the top hinge in place. Using a 5/16 nut driver, remove any 2 of the 3 bolts. Take caution before removing the 3rd bolt. You must hold the door in place, as the door will no longer be supported by the hinge once the 3rd screw is removed. While holding the door in place, lift directly up on the hinge and remove. Now let's remove the freezer door. Tilt it slightly towards you and lift upward off the middle hinge to remove. Step 2. Removing the middle hinge. Before removing the middle hinge, take note of the plastic washers. The bottom washer may fall off when removing, so be sure not to lose either washer. The middle hinge is held in place by 2 5/16 nuts. We must first remove the inner 5/16 nut completely. Now, while holding the refrigerator door in place, loosen the outer nut using a 5/16 open-end wrench. This nut does not need to be completely removed, as the hinge has a U-shaped opening. To remove the refrigerator door and the middle door hinge, firmly grab both sides of the door. Open the door slightly and gently slide to the left away from the nut. Now the middle hinge can be removed by lifting up while supporting the door. The refrigerator door can now be removed by lifting upward off the bottom hinge pin. Step 3. Removing the lower hinge. To remove the lower hinge, we must first remove the hinge pin. Pull the pin up off the lower hinge. The pin is keyed in a D shape and will only fit back in one way. Now, using a 5/16 nut driver, remove the 2 nuts holding the lower hinge in place. Take note of the metal spacer located behind the lower hinge, and be sure to reinstall it upon reassembly. Step 4. Replacing the hinges. To reinstall the hinges, we must first reattach the lower hinge. Make sure the metal spacer is properly positioned behind the hinge before fastening down. Using a 5/16 nut driver, start the first screw by holding the hinge and the spacer in place and align it with a corresponding hole. Be sure not to over-tighten this hinge yet. Allow room to align the second screw. Fasten the second screw completely and make sure both screws are securely tightened. Next, reattach the lower door pin. This pin is keyed to the lower hinge and will only fit one way. Now, reinstall the refrigerator door to the lower hinge pin. While lifting the door, align the hinge pin with a corresponding hole. Slide the door down into place and press it back against the fridge. Be sure to support the door. Until the middle hinge is installed, nothing is preventing it from falling off. Before installing the middle hinge, place the bottom plastic washer over the hole. Align the plastic spacer with the hinge. Tilt the door slightly towards yourself and insert the hinge. Then push the door back in place while sliding the hinge and spacer over the nut. Now reinstall and securely tighten the other 5/16 retaining nut. Be sure to tighten both nuts down. Before proceeding, make sure the refrigerator door opens and closes properly. Now reinstall the freezer door. Before installing, make sure the top plastic washer is in place. Lift the freezer door up, align the bottom hole with the middle hinge and slide it down into place. Be sure to support the freezer door from falling off prior to reattaching the upper hinge. Lastly, let's reinstall the upper hinge. Slide the upper hinge pin into the hole on the top of the freezer door. With your hands, reinstall and slightly tighten the 3 screws. Be sure each screw is properly aligned. Before fully securing the hinge, align the door properly, making sure the spacing is even with the top of the refrigerator door. With the door properly aligned, completely fasten the 3 5/16 bolts securely in place. To complete this repair, snap the cosmetic cover into place. Then verify the door operates properly. Now reconnect the appliance to the wall outlet. Congratulations, you have just successfully replaced the door hinges. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com for all of your future repairs, where you can find everything from the tools and the parts you need to the videos that will help you do it right the first time.